Hi everyone, we're live. Are we live, Bill?
So,
It's always like, we're not sure how things work here. Yeah?
yeah, I have to
You
check
okay?
with Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook frequently doesn't start, so I'm just checking that it actually started now. Facebook started well today.
Well, Nikki and I, we look great, so.
Yeah,
So, bit of confusion is not so bad. They can look at us. We look good. Okay. Welcome back, Bill.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Two Floridian. We're going to talk today with Nikki Fama, who started a new business here in Jacksonville called Duval Dogs. We thought to talk with her a little bit about her background, what drew her to start this business, and what the environment was like as she did so, and her perceptions along the way of the climate and the business climate here in Jacksonville.
Hi,
Thanks for
good
joining
morning.
us, Nikki.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So we have Alexandra with us, of course.
I'm always here, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why he
She
introduced
came
me.
with the house.
Yes. Okay.
So Nikki, maybe give us a little bit of a background. You're not understand, as I recall, I know you, so it's not that I'm learning this for the first time. But
Yeah.
I know you're not born in Jacksonville, but you moved here when you were young, and you've been here a long time. Maybe tell us a little bit about that.
I was actually adopted when I was young. Grew up mostly in Florida and have worked in a lot of fields, gleaning a little expertise here and there. I always landed in management jobs when whatever job I had, I always landed in management before I was out the door. So I took all of my experience from all of that to bring to the table, serving customer service, warehouse work, vet tech, kennel tech. So I'm bringing all of that. Yeah, vet tech. I was vet tech for years at a holistic hospital. I
Here?
spent, yes, in Orange Park. They were a Kingsley Animal Hospital, a
Is it
holistic
still
vet.
there?
It is still there, but it's changing ownership. The ownership is in their senior years, and they're passing it along.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know we had a holistic vet.
Yeah. Well, I got excited because we have pets too. We have cats, so of course anything related to like taking care of animals.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I spent a lot of time working with dogs on a medical level, and it really gave me some insight to dog behavior and just dogs in general. Cats as well too, but at Duval Dogs we only board dogs, no cats.
As the name suggests.
Yes, as the name suggests,
Is it
Duval
like
Dogs.
potentially in the perspective, or it's very unmixable?
Yeah, I really want to stick with dogs and leave the facility. It's 5,400 square foot, and I'd like to leave that all for dogs. So we have
5,400.
yes.
Wow,
So,
that's a lot of space.
yes, and we have an indoor and outdoor area.
love
Small
that.
dog availability, large dog availability, indoor and outdoor.
This is so
And we have
great.
kennels that hold 40 kennels. So there's 40 dogs available to be able to stay the night with us as well.
Awesome.
How awesome! Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And it sounds like you got lots of space for those dogs.
This
Yes.
is, I think, like one of the main points, especially for dogs, to have that
Yes.
space. Yeah.
Space and interactive play. There has a tendency for some of the facilities in the area, due to lack of space, to kennel their dogs for a good period of time, let them out for play, and then put them back in their kennels. As a small family-owned and operated organization, we want to stress quality time with your pets. Time to play without being charged for it, time for treats without being charged for it. We want them to play all day, go home happy and tired, for people to let their dogs out and socialize and have fun.
So it's a good experience for the dogs as well. When you go
Yeah.
on vacation, your dogs get a little
Yeah.
vacation too. And
I know. And I was like, now I
Absolutely.
need to have a dog so I can bring it to Duval Dogs.
Yes.
For this awesome experience. I mean, I always wanted to have a dog. But
So tell us a little bit about how you got started with it, and some of the things that you. All businesses have challenges when they start up. I don't know what they are, but I'm sure you encountered some things. Tell us a bit about the environment and some of the challenges that you overcame.
We were holding an idea in our head for one day having a rescue or a dog daycare, and we had talked about it and not really formulated a plan at the idea when we found the space. The space was available, had been a previous dog daycare, came with kennels and the outdoor space. And when we saw it, we just couldn't pass it up. And we said, this is it. This was meant to be. And although zoning was the same zoning was our biggest challenge. Jacksonville zoning department is moderately staffed, but not super great at communication between emails and phones and
right.
things. So it took us a little while to get the paperwork signed off, even though it was the same type of facility.
So you weren't changing the zoning or anything. You
No.
just needed to sign off for the new business.
And it was recent. It was a recent zoning that had been done on his property. So when we took it over, we had to get that zoning permit, but it was the same use. So it still took us several months.
So is this because of a change of ownership? Any change of ownership, they have to do this every time, or was it?
Yes. Anytime your business starts up or change of ownership, the use of compliance of use has to be updated. And when it does, it took us forever. It should have been something that could have been signed off pretty quickly, and it took us several months to get done. And from my understanding with other business owners in the area, they all experienced the same problem with zoning. So that was our biggest challenge.
That's several months that you have expenses that you can't recoup.
Expenses with no, not being able to open the doors with no generated income.
Wow. And there was nothing like pending on your behalf, like any outstanding documents. It just was literally your spot in the line.
Our spot in the line. Our
So
spot in the line.
frustrating.
Yeah. So that was our biggest challenge.
And they don't probably give you a really good up-to-date idea of where it is. It's not like a
No.
pizza that you can watch come on a chart.
No, we were sent an email that said, don't call the office for 14 days.
Okay.
And so we called the office in 14 days, and they said, well, did you get your letter from the fire department? No, you didn't tell us to do that. We can, and we did very quickly. And we sent that back to them, and we waited another week before we even heard that they received it. So it was a little frustrating. It was just kind of one thing after another with the same agency, and that was our biggest obstacle opening.
Yeah, I keep hoping that AI will just take over all government jobs.
Absolutely. Let's be
'Cause why
useful.
not?
Yes, let's be useful. Let's cross-reference. Let's use the data that's been given to us and
use some computers to make things faster.
yes, computers can make things faster.
How about
Absolutely.
people like Leslie Knope?
Yeah, I like Leslie Knope. I would vote for her if she were a real person.
If she was a real person. Have you seen Parks and Rec?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the TV series. It's not all
She's the person who's in charge of the parks for Parks and Rec, and she's a very passionate public servant.
Yeah.
Very diligent. Yeah, we need a Leslie Knope. So when you got your permit and everything, you still had build out to do, I imagine, or were you able to do your build out mostly while you were waiting?
We did our build out while we were waiting.
Okay.
We did have an issue once we put up our fences. The very day that we finished our fences, somebody hit our fence in a drunk driving accident, crashed through our fence, and became a hit and run because she left the scene before the tow trucks got there. The police had her name and number, and that's all in red tape right now. So that pushed us back a week, but we were still waiting on the COU.
Wow.
Yeah.
So here's like not related to this, kind of not directly related. How did you keep your, I don't know, your enthusiasm, your hopes up when you were like hitting wall, and then sort of moved forward, and then you had this incident with the fans?
It was very difficult. It was a very difficult situation to keep positive and say to come in and, finish the trim work or touch up things that needed to be touched up or whatever we wanted to do. And it became difficult to keep that positive momentum. But every day that Bogey's there, Bogey is our mascot, and he arrives with us in the morning and he helps us keep the energy because he wants to play and he wants to go inside and outside and play with the water hose and do bubble time. And so all of that keeps us going throughout the day, that we have Bogey as our mascot, who's there regardless if we have a downtime or if we
Right.
have more clients in at the same time. So
It's like your mental health therapist.
absolutely.
It's
That's why he's
amazing
our
how
mascot.
It's amazing how our pets can do that for us. How our pets can really help us keep a level when times are very tough. Sometimes I think many people feel like their pet is the one I want to say person because that feels most correct for the sense.
Mm.
The one person that's there for
They're
them that's in
sentient. They are
Mm-hmm.
sentient beings. They understand. They have feelings. And we really feel that. One of the things that we do, we're family based, owned and operated. We believe that dogs are part of the family.
Mm.
And they're not a commodity. They're not something to be put in a kennel and come take out. Let's go to the bathroom and then put you away. That's not how we see things. We want the dogs to be out. We want them to play. They're part of our family, and as a client and a guest, they're an extension of our family when they're on our facility. So we want to treat them that way, and I think it reflects in the positive energy that the dogs come home with when they come in and play for the day, and they've been able to use toys and have treats and things that other facilities don't do. We really push that to
Oh.
try to make them feel at home.
So are there like doggy daycares? It's not like a default setting that they would have toys for dogs or like any entertainment?
There are many dog facilities, dog
It's just like-
daycares that don't do toys because they don't have adequate supervision. We are 8 dogs to 1 person at the maximum. And so we are always interacting with the dogs. Dogs that are just given toys with no supervision are going to fight. So we interact with the dogs and play with them individually and let each dog have their own toy. So everybody is equal on the playing field and they're not fighting for each other. And that's something that's really important to us to be able to do. We don't do training.
Mm.
There are other facilities that say they do training because they use sit, stay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just part of owning a dog. And I don't think that it should be considered training to just monitor the dogs and play with them
Right.
and interact with them. And that's what we're there to do, is make them feel like family, make them feel
Yeah.
at home.
So that means that you basically work every day, no weekends? Or you have
We are open 7 days a week, 7 to 7. We are open 365 days a year. Many facilities close on the weekends or the holidays or
Right.
busy times, and they shut their daycare down and they shut their boarding down. They don't do it at all because they want to celebrate. Well, because we're a family owned and operated business, we'll all be together
And you're gonna celebrate with all the guests.
and we'll celebrate with the guests. Absolutely. We will do holidays at the kennel the same as we would at home and play with all the dogs that are there.
That's so cool.
Were you able to do most of the build out also with your family, or did you also work with contractors?
We did most of the build out ourselves. I do have experience with construction. My family built many homes over the years. Every house they moved into as I grew up, they built. So I did get a lot of experience through that, plus work history in the warehouses and things, being able to use all the tools. We did the RFP on the walls. We painted everything. We did the trim, all of the baseboards, the exterior. We did all of it. The only thing that we did not do that we contracted out were the fences.
The thing that got knocked down.
The thing that got
you had
knocked
to do
down
again.
that we
Well,
had
it's
to do
not
again.
contractors' fault.
No, it's not their fault, but it's the one thing they had.
We
someone
called
else
them the next day and said, "You're not going to believe this."
do.
And they said, "What?" I said, "Yep, our fence has been driven through and we're going to have to do all the poles and buy more mesh and everything." So we did it, and it's all brand new fencing again. So
Doubly, twice over.
So
Right.
where is it exactly? I just realized we're talking about this, but where don't know where. It is.
Duval Dogs is in Murray Hill in the business corridor on South Edgewood, 814 South Edgewood. We're actually across from Gina's Deli. Gina's Deli is across the street on the right hand side. There's a tax collector, a barber shop, and a laundromat.
Oh, so it's past Community Loaves.
Past Community
go towards
Loves,
the theater.
past Post Street. We're on the next light. We're College. So the next light away from Post Street and that area is
Okay.
Duval Dogs is on that corner.
Near Judge's Lock and Key.
Next to, we're actually next to the Lofts.
Okay.
The Lofts, the big apartment complex
Mhm.
that they built there. We are the building adjacent to it.
It's a good area because you're very close to the I-95, I-10 juncture.
Absolutely.
So people can reach you from pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
It's good.
So I'm just, is it okay to ask like about details?
Oh,
I'm just trying
absolutely.
to imagine. So how does the boarding happen? Like how many people do you have? And I imagine it's less dogs who actually stay overnight.
Right. We have the capacity to hold 40. Obviously, we haven't reached that point yet, but I did work in a facility that held 100 dogs. And overnight. And we would do, I learned a lot from there. I learned a lot. Her name was Margaret, and she taught me everything she knew. And I was actually looking at a manager's position at another facility. And when I ended up moving on to someplace else, but I learned all of that information, and I spoke with the owner and was honest with them. One day I'd like to open my own facility. And he said, let me tell you, it's not hard and you'd be great at it. So if you don't want to be a manager for us, good luck to you one day. And we're friends on community pages now. So
is it also in Jacksonville?
In Jacksonville.
It's been a universal experience of all of the people that we know in business and that we've had on the show without planning it and without any
agenda.
Without agenda. Yeah, we every single person that we have talked to, they encourage others to help with what they do across the board. Nobody ever takes this view of, oh no, I don't want somebody else in my market. I don't want more competition.
Right.
Because a rising tide raises all ships. And in all of these markets that we're doing, I mean, I guess it might be different if you're selling Rolexes or something. I don't know what that business model is like. I have no idea. But with all the things we're doing, we need more. There's always room for more because it needs to be done more, and there's always room to improve.
There is a large market in the millennial, Gen X, Gen Z, Gen Y, all of them, that live in apartments, have dogs. Maybe not Gen X so much because they're a little older, but the millennials and the Gen Zs are having dogs as children. They're investing in their dogs. They're giving them daycare. They're taking them to groomers. They're taking them to dog parks. They're treating them like kids. And because I treat my dogs like kids, it's just a perfect fit. And so reaching out to apartment complexes and things of that nature has been beneficial. We want the dogs to play with us and not sit at home bored. And so the boredom factor for dogs, whether they're coming in for daycare or coming in for boarding, is a big thing. Dogs get in trouble, they tear up blinds, they dig into stuff. But if they're at a facility where they're getting played with, they're not going to get into trouble. They're not going to do that. And that's a big market across the nation for the dog daycares. And some of that millennial market, the apartment living, the smaller yards. People can't afford yards. People can't afford big houses anymore. It's just the market and the economy. So there's more people living in apartments that have dogs that need to get out.
Yeah.
Get out and play.
You mentioned that in the beginning, in the intro, that it's small dog, large dog. So are those rooms separate? Are they separate?
They are separated entirely by rooms interior. We have one area for small dogs that actually has lots of little rooms attached to it so the dogs can get away from other dogs. Lots of little dogs like their own area. So we gave them plenty of place to play. There's a big floor to play with, and then lots of places for them to retreat when they want downtime. And then the big dogs have another area themselves that is completely separated. It's not separated by a fence or anything, but our exterior is separated by a fence. We have exterior small dog and large dog area.
So which
So-
ones do you have to watch more closely over the? Which ones are more likely to fight, the big dogs or the small ones?
It's the little ones. Yeah, the little guys are spunky.
That's what I always see. Too.
Yeah, I call them spicy tacos.
Yeah.
So,
I like that.
Are you a spicy taco today? So,
I couldn't believe when I read that people have died from groups of Chihuahuas. They've been
Oh.
overwhelmed by Chihuahuas in a group, and Chihuahuas have killed people.
Oh gosh.
I was like, my goodness,
yeah, they're so cute.
what an embarrassing way to die.
yeah, lots of little small sharp teeth.
Yeah. So I'm still curious about the overnight.
Sure.
I don't know why. I'm just trying to picture. So is it just one? How many people do you have? Well, I guess it depends on how many dogs you have overnight, right?
Right. Well, we currently have 5 on staff. So we haven't hit our marker yet of 40 dogs, but that would be where we are.
And you would just add more.
Yeah, we would just,
Is that
40
right?
dogs is our maximum boarding.
Right.
So we have the 5 people on staff already.
Oh, yeah. So
We would just, schedule them appropriately for
Is that because
holidays.
you have one set for? Are they hourly? You have something that you do hourly with each one, or something?
Because they're all family. It's in
It's more-
blocks. Yeah,
okay.
it depends on. I have a 16-year-old who is a dog watcher and one of the kennel attendants, and so he comes in for blocks when we're busy. So
What a cool job.
I know,
Yeah.
and it's cool that the whole family is on board with the
Yes.
with the idea. It's like it's truly just like pure, like this pure concept of a family-owned business, and
Yeah.
not just like like parents or one child, but it's actually the whole
It's-
family.
yeah, the whole family. We're all on board.
Yeah.
So
And it's all built with your own, with your own sweat as well.
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
Because you get something then that I think is it's just like anything that you build yourself. It's going to have more of you, of your own energy, your own vibe will be in it.
absolutely.
Yeah, and then just like you said, during like holiday seasons, it's not that you're missing out because you're still with your family doing something that everyone in your family likes doing.
Absolutely.
Taking care of dogs, and still you can celebrate. Just kind of imagine like dogs by the like.
Alexandra wants to have a cat one right next to you.
I know. No.
Cats running all over you.
No. Well.
Yeah.
But-
She's like, no. Well. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But
The logistics behind it is something else.
yeah.
No, I mean more in the fantasy of the idea.
Yeah.
We're always home, and we're home for New Year's because of the fireworks. Our cats don't like the fireworks, so we don't want to be going. We would love to go with our friends to New Year's celebrations in other places, but we won't because we know that even if they're here with someone else, no matter what, it's not the same. They know her most and me second, and
Right.
we just
Cats
can't.
are a little different when it comes to all of that. So, dogs can be easily distracted. We have speakers in the kennel, and our building is established with a very, very dense foam ceiling.
Hmm.
So for insulation, and I'm
Yeah.
not sure that was there in place when we were able to obtain the building. We're not sure if it was put in place because they built the apartments, but it is essentially soundproof. It
Yeah,
really,
that's
with the
great.
fireworks, they were very, very mild, easily just covered up with the speakers and the music that we play.
Great. Oh, that's
So-
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should try speakers with the cats. We didn't try that.
I think cats just need like a little like box that they hide in, like,
Mhm.
and then I would rather insulate that box, with, like.
Sound insulated box.
Well, it could be just like an actual box. You just throw it away after, but like put like blankets because they want to hide.
Mhm.
They want to
Yeah.
hide, and I think like I want them to hide somewhere where it's like
You don't
very
think we could
compact.
relax them enough that they don't hide, like in the whole house?
I don't know. Anyway, no, it's hard. Those cats, you never know what they're gonna do.
Cats.
They'll also
Cats
be
are
different.
very-
It seems like when they were kittens, it wasn't a big deal. As they've gotten older, they've gotten more concerned about it.
Yeah, it's the mortality is not cats are not immune to mortality. It's like get in a little bit.
They're considering their mortality.
Well, not in those cognitive terms, but I think they're realizing I'm not as strong, I'm not as fast, I'm not as and then the more they get injured or get some kind of thing that impedes their I think realize this even more. I think that's the only reason why I think they developed that fear about fireworks because it's just like 2-3 years before they're 9 years old now. Before they didn't care about the fireworks.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a good point. I think all of us are maybe a little bit that way. The more we get messed with, the more it compounds, and we're eventually like, look, the slightest thing, I just can't deal with this anymore.
Yeah,
Right.
You're
they're
gonna
like,
get-
oh shoot, I'm like 7 lives down. You
Yeah.
gotta be careful now.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I only have 2 left. That's funny.
So when the with the dogs, with the dogs over New Year's, and you said the speakers, the sound keeps everything good there, and I presume the same for July 4th. Do the amount of people who bring in their pets on the holidays increase massively, or is it more of a weekday?
Oh, holidays are absolutely people go on vacation. They've got their dogs. They need them to go someplace. We do allow medication to be given if the owner has a prescription from their vet and they bring it to us and they want them to medicate the dog for the holidays. Sometimes it's necessary, but we're more than welcome to do that. If the owners feel that the noise level will be too much for them and if they're that nervous, then we'll apply medication.
And is there a big fluctuation in the between holidays versus weekdays and like the volume? And I know your business is opening, but from your experience in the past,
From my experience, the holidays are really, I mean, they are packed.
maxed out.
Maxed out. Every place is turning people away because they don't have enough kennels to use.
So if you have a dog, you need to plan
Plan
well
ahead. Absolutely.
and book
Plan
a
ahead.
kennel.
It's like
Book
with
a kennel.
hotels.
Mm-hmm.
It's like with hotels. You gotta.
And we're actually running a special right now. It's $150 for 3 days of daycare. I'm sorry, boarding, which includes the daycare and all the amenities that our facility offers. So you can book in advance. There's no limitations, no blackout dates. There's a lot of facilities that do blackout dates for specials. Buy your package, come in, schedule it for December. We got you.
That's an awesome deal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can you buy like multiple packages?
You can buy multiple packages. So we set it up so that way if you buy, say boarding is 3 days for $150. You buy 3 packages, that's 9 days, you get a day free. So it's 10 days for $450.
Yeah.
And that's a savings of several $100s.
So how much is it normal? Like
$65 a night for boarding. That includes all day daycare. There's no extra upcharges if you don't pick up by a certain time. I always thought that was not the greatest rule, so
Right.
I changed that in my facility.
Yeah.
So you can go on your vacation, don't worry about your dog, come in when we're open to 7, anytime pick up, no extra charge.
I just realized. What about food? Like, what do they eat?
When they're boarding, owners will bring us food or we supply food for them at an additional charge. It's a couple dollars. We supply food for the day. It's Taste of the Wild, grain-free boar. So it's pork. Tends to be less allergic response in everybody. So dogs don't seem to be as allergic to pork as they are chicken. So we went with the least allergic food. And
I didn't even know dogs could be allergic to chicken.
oh yeah, big time. Lots of dogs that have allergy issues. Pitties are one of the worst. Little pitties, little blockheads come in and their skin is all tore up. They are silver ones are super susceptible to skin irritation from chicken. You can take them off that diet and put them on a pork or beef diet, and it changes their skin.
Is it the chicken as like type of meat?
Chicken
Or
is a meat.
Or is it chicken the way it's treated, like antibiotics and all that stuff that goes into there?
So the idea is to keep them away from any type of chemicals and additives. So when we choose chicken, most companies do not get quality chicken ingredients. Our chicken in the United States is not quality chicken. So the dogs are obtaining those chemicals, antibiotics and things that are given to those. They have a reaction, whatever the reaction is to, it's in chicken. And it's not in the beef, it's not in the pork. So we take the dogs off chicken, and working as a holistic vet, I did many nutrition consultations with the vets and worked with many clients and took them off chicken. And that skin infection clears up in about 6 weeks on its own with no antibiotics.
So has anybody ever broken it down whether the allergic reaction is coming from the chicken or the chemicals? Or chemicals in the process?
I'm not sure. In Chinese medicine, chicken is listed as a hot protein, along with lamb, veal. Um, they are hot proteins, which create an energy in the molecules, can be aggravating to dogs that projects as a skin infection.
Oh, I've never heard of this. What's a hot
Yeah. And
Hot
it's
energy.
in Chinese medicine. So I learned that and took that experience from the nutrition side of the vet tech world and brought that over into my own dogs and seen it in practicality. My dog Odin is allergic. As soon as you give him a chicken bite, he will start itching
Aw.
and scratching, and it goes away after about 3 days, but it's in his system.
Mhm.
So whether it's the chemicals, whether it's how the chickens have been treated, in holistic medicine and holistic vet world, you want to stay away from all chicken and all wheat, because where are you going to find wheat that's on a commercial level that isn't Monsanto?
Right,
Mhm.
yeah.
So all of the wheat that we're getting is Monsanto products, and so taking them away from those grains and giving them replacement grains, soy and things of that nature,
It's crazy to think that
rice.
people eat this too and have responses
yeah.
too. They just
Yeah.
don't see it's not
Absolutely.
expressed the same way.
So,
Absolutely.
so the dogs in daycare, they don't eat, just treats?
If the owners want them to have lunch, they can have lunch,
Oh,
and we
little
give them
lunch.
treats. Depends on how long they're there, and but we give them a separate time and downtime. We do 30 minutes after a lunch break to allow time for the food to digest, because I don't want any dog to get bloat. Bloat is a big problem. It's where the dogs get it's torsion of the stomach. It'll actually flip upside down.
Oh.
Whoa.
And so when you feed a dog, you shouldn't let them play for 30 minutes. So we give them some downtime, give them a little nap. After 30 minutes, we'll bring them back out to the play floor and let them play.
And it's called bloat?
Bloat.
Basically, it's
Both.
like gas, right?
It's
kinda sounds
it's
like worse than gas.
Yeah, it sounds like
so there's a procedure that they can tack a stomach down in large barrel-chested dogs so that the stomach doesn't flip. The muscle, the actual organ, flips over, and it's an emergency situation where they have to go in and do abdominal surgery because the
Oh,
gases will build up in the
God,
tummy,
yeah.
and it becomes a serious situation. So I've worked at several facilities, and some of them didn't take the bloat into consideration. And it was always a worrisome to me from the vet tech world that I don't want these dogs to get sick because they're jumping up and down with a full belly of food. Not good. So we make sure to give them a break after they eat. Whether it be boarding and they eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner, they get a 30-minute break afterwards.
So, and it's
learning
just
a
like
lot.
a gentle stroll, or just because like I'm just thinking for people they always say like take a gentle stroll after a meal,
Right.
and I guess with dogs it's like
I don't think dogs
No.
do anything gentle.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
there's nothing gentle about the dogs. So when we let them out, they start playing, and so we make sure they wait that
You
30
say
minutes.
the word outside, and they become like a quantum particle that you can't figure out where
Yeah.
it is anymore.
Right.
It just goes back and forth in a blur.
Right. That's so funny. Yeah, I am also learning a lot.
Yeah, I
Thank
didn't know.
you.
I'm
You're
learning
welcome.
Quite a bit about dogs. This is all good information.
Yeah.
So, what are there any other common conditions that are like this that might be good for people to know in general when they encounter these with dogs? Because I wouldn't have even known that was a possible thing with dogs.
Oh, really? Well, for the most part, it's the food eating that we're concerned about. They generally don't have many conditions that aren't treatable by a vet. Most vets can recognize things and they treat them accordingly. But a
things
few
that you do to
things.
prevent them from needing this medical care. Is there anything else? Cool tips like this
bloat.
that you
Oh
got?
yeah. No, just pumpkin and sweet potatoes are super great for fiber in the diet. That can help with things like glands, bathroom issues.
That's good, 'cause
Whether
that's easy to
they're
get. Do they like to eat it?
Yeah, oh, they love it. They absolutely love it.
Not
Yeah.
like cats. Cats like, what's that?
They liked it the first time and never after. The first time they were like, "Oh, this is great, pumpkin," and then afterwards they were like, "No, like we're just gonna have to go to the bathroom if we eat that."
Right. Yeah. And well, that's the idea behind dogs.
Yeah. The cats keep
Get them
outsmarting us,
regular.
though.
Yeah.
I
Give
think
them a
the cats are.
regular and probiotics.
I think the
So.
cats are training us. They keep thinking that we're
Cats
like.
do train people. Absolutely.
Yeah, Sasha is like Alexandra's feeding the cats, and she's like, "These cats, they just won't eat." I'm like, "Is it that they won't eat, or is that they figured out that if they pause for a second, they get other options?"
No, they
This
just
is their
don't eat.
version of the menu.
They don't eat. Yeah. Yeah, no, they're very spoiled. Like, I don't want to call spoiled, but it's just interesting. The last 8 months, I don't know what to buy for them because it's like always hit or miss, and it's mostly miss.
She must have at any
And
given time at least a minimum of 5 options of
yeah,
cat food,
and
sometimes 20.
and they used to have like their favorites, especially the boy.
Cats are texture oriented. So something that they liked in the past that was a certain texture or shape. It can be the shape of a kibble. It can be the taste of kibble. It can be that they were introduced to a pate that they liked, and that's the only thing they want. So learning their texture bias will be a long way. So if you can think of something that you like that they liked in the past, I would try to find something in that texture again, that shape
that's
of
good,
kibble.
yeah.
Well, they definitely don't eat pate. That's like a
Okay,
no-go.
right.
And I never buy it because it's a waste. It's like 100% waste. But I don't know. It's just literally, I go to and I get like one sample of each can, and it's predominantly about wet food. The dry food is this kind, and I try to keep them on the wet food predominantly. And it's just, I don't know what to buy. It's
Well,
so
I think they've
difficult.
figured out that they have a little Michelin restaurant now where they can get little bites of everything. They can take one and be like,
That's exactly what they do. They're like,
Cats are notorious for not drinking enough, which leads to kidney problems in their later years.
Yeah.
So adding a little bit of water to their wet food, if they eat their wet food, adding a little bit of water can sometimes be helpful.
Yeah, that will be. But
or one of those water
fountains.
The water fountain things that run fresh. Do they have them?
So we got ours, and Alexandra had to. She basically eventually taught, because it's our second round trying the water fountain, and they were just ignoring it in the beginning. They do respond well to little glasses of water around the house.
Yeah.
So we put little glasses everywhere, so they find water, and they're like, "Oh, there's some water." They think about it, and then they have some, and that's worked really pretty well. But when Alexandra took the fountain, and then when she put it beside one of the glasses of water, and then played in it each time that the girl was nearby, because she likes playing, or liked when she was a kitten, she liked playing with a stream of water.
Oh yeah,
that's the only. But he doesn't see the boy.
He totally ignores it. He'll drink from the cup right beside it and doesn't care about the fountain. It's like he doesn't register that the fountain is a thing you can drink from.
Yeah. Anyway, they're so.
And they love a puddle. If they can find a dirty puddle full of tadpoles, they're like, "Oh my god, that's the best water for them." They just go crazy for it.
In that sense, I feel like dogs are more like direct, more obvious. When they're thirsty, they just drink a whole bunch of water, and it's very. I imagine like after a walk, after a play, they're like super thirsty, right? Because they also breathe very differently than cats.
Right, and they sweat through their mouth, so they pant. I mean, there's signs that they get thirsty, or if they're hungry, you can tell. But generally at the kennel, we are playing and having a good time. There's water everywhere for them to drink, and fresh water, and we give out frozen treats and little watermelon treats or blueberry and coconut. It's little treats that we give them to cool them down. So. Yeah.
It sounds so cool. Little watermelon treats. Too cool. It's like little icicles.
Little ice blocks of chopped up pineapple. I'm sorry, watermelon. Yeah.
So it's an actual watermelon.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, with no chemicals, all organic.
Wow, that's amazing. I wonder how many like dog facilities are like. Well, facilities sounds so rough. Dog care, dog hotels are like this in Jacksonville. Do you know?
There's a couple of them, but they're far and few between. Like I said, most of them are putting the dogs in kennels, letting them out for a little bit of time, putting them back in, and we're just all day play. There's a few brewery style facilities where you can go and drink beer, let your dog play while
Oh,
you're having a couple beers. And they have memberships where you can join clubs and things like that. None of them are close, but those are all day play. They
mm.
are never in a kennel, but you're typically there having a beer and dropping them off and picking them up and having another beer.
It's like kids area,
Yeah, right.
whatever they call it.
Yeah, I like that. I think there should be more of that.
Yeah.
I'd be like the weird one who doesn't have a dog and still goes there to play with other people's dogs. I don't even drink. There's this guy here who doesn't drink and doesn't have a dog. What's he doing? He's just playing with other people's dogs and having conversations without beers. He's doing it wrong.
Is there any concern about, like, I don't want to call it cross contamination, but like if dogs share a water bowl or things like that?
We do require that our dogs be on heartworm prevention and flea control. So heartworm prevention covers intestinal parasites and things of that nature. Flea control typically does fleas and mites. So that's really any of the things that can be cross contaminated.
Right. Uh-huh.
We require rabies, bordetella, parvo, and bordetella.
So
So
they basically have to be like fully vaccinated. And
yeah,
on the
yeah,
flea
to make it
control.
safe for everybody because it
Yeah.
is an integrated play yard.
Do you have like emergency numbers? Like,
Part of the registration that owners have to fill out is their vet information and emergency contacts.
so you take responsibility in, let's say I'm traveling, my dog is with you for 5 days, and if something, you actually are gonna take
I will
my
take them.
dog to the vet.
Yes, I will take them to your vet. Or if I cannot get a hold of your vet or you, I will take them to an ER vet. And then that's part of the billing that'll go back to the client. So that's part of the boarding contract that they sign. So just be available.
Right,
Just be available when you drop your dog off. Have your phone nearby. If you're going to be away, if you're going to Costa Rica and you're going to go surfing, give me a local contact number. That's the emergency contact number. What should I do? This dog's been injured. This dog is diarrhea. I need to take it to a vet. Am I taking it to yours or are we taking it? So.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, what if you're in a different time zone?
Well, I think it's good to have somebody.
Yeah.
Who can,
There's an
I mean, they're
ER
like this, like,
vet.
with
There's a
kids.
24-hour ER vet.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
can always go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only like with kids. You know, you just always someone has to always be available.
It is like with kids. Yes, I agree.
And more so with dogs, I think, than cats, because cats are a little more independent. But dogs,
More independent, getting themselves into trouble if they go outside.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
yeah. But I think, in my view, cats are a bit easier to care for than dogs in this aspect.
Well, yeah, they kind of
At home.
Yes, at home. Yes.
Yeah, you can leave them alone for not. People often think they can leave cats alone, and that's not the case. But cats can be left alone longer than dogs, I think. And
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
cats will entertain themselves and for longer than a dog will. A dog is, I think, more bonded to a person, and they're more pack animals, so they need to feel like they're in a group more often. And a cat needs to know comfortably that the people that take care of it, that system is still there. They need to know that something didn't fundamentally change, and now they need to start hunting on their own and fending for themselves, which is a little bit different. You know, the dog needs a person to kind of gauge off of. His feelings a lot of times come from that group. And the cat's totally fine to ignore everything as long as the basic needs are met. And
I don't know if it's that simple though.
I don't think it's that simple. No, I
Yeah.
don't think I'm an expert either on psychology of dogs or cats, so I don't think it's that simple.
So, what would you say? What would you say the stress level of your like endeavor right now?
It's a little bit stressful. Building clientele, getting people to come in, getting people to register. It's been a little stressful, but it's happening. It's happening.
You just how old is since it?
We've been open for a week.
Oh my gosh! Wow! Congratulations!
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's like
Thank
first
you.
week anniversary.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
awesome.
confident that it's going to go great.
Duval
I've
Dogs.
seen a lot of
yeah.
businesses start up, and I've seen a lot of them go, and I have all confidence that the main elements that I think here that I would see as a success is that you're doing it as a team, as a family. Your family's been a solid family, so you're not going over much new ground. It's a lot of things you've already done,
Yeah.
Right.
and so there's. It would be remiss. You'd be remiss not to do it. You have all the. I think you've got every good thing in your court. I wanted to maybe ask a question though about some challenges. We work together, Alexandra and I. And a lot of people in I've worked together with family before in the past. I love working with family, but I think that you have to have some unique approach. You have to have a unique approach, and you have to know how to do it. Would you like to share maybe some tips that you have for people working with family that have helped you be able to do that well?
Yeah, we assigned jobs. We said when we were doing the build out, we said you do this, you do that, you do this. And so everybody's working separately, working together on projects they need to. And now that we're open, we're on shifts. So we have the morning shift and the evening shift. And we have it set up that Lauren and Austin are partner owners. They are operator owners as well. They work one shift and they are married, of course. And then Dave and I are domestic partners and we work the other shift. I also work for the Stagehands Union. So I frequently at jobs for them. A lot of that is nighttime stuff, so it doesn't affect the kennel, but there are day shifts. And in that case, we just switch shifts.
So you've
So-
basically just been very, escaping. The word is escaping. You're very strict, not strict, very diligent was that job description. You're not kind of blurring the boundaries, whole, private, personal, professional,
Right.
pushing off tasks or presuming this will be done well.
Right. Everybody,
so
it's been very specific. I'm bringing all of the management skills that I've had in the past to the table. Dave as well, Lauren as well. We've all been in management positions, so we are making lists and having meetings and doing all of the things that need to be done that you would do kind of on a corporate level. But we are bringing it down to our family-owned and operated business.
Do you have like times like no work talk time? Like when you're
Absolutely.
off?
Yeah,
And, like
absolutely.
you can't break this rule. You can't talk about work. At
We
home.
have days off. Nobody's supposed to work. Nobody's supposed to check the social media. Nobody's supposed to do any of that. You're off. Take the time off. Spend it with your family. Do what you need to do. I'm also bringing some of the union rules over to Duval Dogs with 15-minute breaks every 2 hours, 30-minute breaks every 4 hours. We set up a nice siesta lounge for everybody if you need to go in and lay down, go relax,
That's so
cool
cool.
down.
That's great. We follow union rules also. We did that with Cook Technology, and it went really well because with contractors, you always hear this thing about how contractors don't get anything, and I'm like, but why? Like, there's no. These rules are there to improve labor. They're not there to like make it more difficult. They're there because people who have breaks are better workers.
Right. And we also, because we have the integrated play yard inside and out, we're going to go take the dogs outside for frequent potty breaks, of course. But if it's too hot outside, we're not going to keep them outside. We're going to bring them inside. So we'll let them outside for a few minutes, go to the potty, run around, go back inside to the playroom. For heat protections, which have recently been taken from us in Florida, we are definitely following the guidelines, supplying water for our employees. Even though we're operator owners, I'm making sure that they have breaks, they have water available, we have snacks and food. Don't let your sugar drop, take your potassium.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so.
That's good. We were talking about, Nikki and I were talking about online about how Jacksonville is 8 to 10 degrees warmer because of the increase of population and asphalt.
Yes.
I read that
So
in economic.
the development and people just like emitting heat was like just
That's
being
right.
alive. Yeah.
Because a lot of our spaces that were green spaces have now been developed.
Yeah.
And also there's a lot more just physical people, and concrete emits a lot of heat. It retains and it emits a lot of heat.
Well, and I think also, like we were talking with you about this yesterday, that we're in the solar, I forgot the scientific terms of this, but we're in the last rotation of like a 12-year cycle, and it normally coincides, normally is associated with more how do you call them? Sun
Solar
flare.
flares.
So yeah. So I do feel that the sun is more aggressive this year. It was
Absolutely.
already building up like last year, but this year it's almost impossible, even at 10 o'clock, to be completely exposed to the sun. You feel like you're burning.
Yes. We have sunshades going up this week. Two 36 by 36 by 36 triangles
Oh, those
that
are
will
huge.
cut. They're huge. Our yard's 80 feet in one direction, and then I forget how long in the other. But it'll cover most of the play yard for both of them to be put up.
That's great.
So
We put
yeah.
up sunshades outside, and
That's
they've been
great,
great.
yeah.
Not that big, but we put some.
Right.
up
Yeah.
there.
No, we've got some big ones that we're going to cover up the yard with.
I like that they don't block the sun entirely.
Hmm.
It's nice because you get some sun through them, but they work really well.
Right.
So I have a question. I often see this beautiful, like long-haired dogs here, like huskies, one of them, or the mountain Bernese dogs.
Yes.
And it's just, to me, it feels like it's not the climate for them.
It's not the climate for them, and that's why we have to make accommodations for all the dogs. Let them go outside and go to the bathroom. It's on grass. It's not artificial turf, so they're never on concrete. They come out to the grass, use the bathroom, play. If it's hot, and we have the dogs that have the long hair and the thick coats, we're not going to let them outside for as long. When the fur gets hot, we bring them back in, cool them down. Make sure that there's not, and that's a personal choice that people
Right.
make with dogs. If you're gonna have them down here and they're your pet and you love them, you bring them to us. We'll take care of them like ours. We're not gonna let them get too hot. We're gonna make sure they have water. You know, get a frozen treat when they come back inside and cool that core temperature down. So
yeah, I don't know. I always feel bad. They're so beautiful. But I like always
oh,
feel
Burmese
so,
Mountain Dog is
I know,
gorgeous.
yeah. But I always feel like so bad for them when I see them walking on the street and it's like in our summers.
I'm very concerned about temperature control on the sidewalks. I'm constantly posting about check the temperature. It's like a baby bottle. If you put your wrist down, you put your hand down, and it's hot to you, it is hot to their paws.
Oh,
Do not take them on a walk. I do see people all the time, and I will roll a window down and be like, look out for their paws. It's hot out here. Yeah.
What do you get as a response normally?
Oh, some people are like, oh, okay, or it's fine. I'm like, it's not fine. Get him out of there. Walk him on the grass.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Animal activism.
Yes, little animal on the go activism.
Absolutely.
Nikki, what would you like to highlight? So we know about the special.
Mhm.
How long are you going to run the special for?
The special is running through the 31st
Of
this month of July.
Oh,
yeah.
What's the date today? 17th?
Yeah.
Okay, we got to spread the word. 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yep, and get them out there, spread the word.
Special.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking actually about a couple of friends who regularly use.
Make a great gift.
Huh, yeah, didn't think about that.
Yeah, and those packages, when the daycare packages are 5 days for $150. If you buy 3 packages, you get a free day. 3-day boarding packages are $150. You buy 3 packages, you get a free day. So that's a 10-day boarding package for $450.
Right, yeah.
With no upcharges added for us to take care of your dog well.
Right, yeah.
So,
that's so awesome.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great gift as well. I think that's a good one. So. Thank you, Nikki. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you having me.
Sharing all this. It's really good, I think, for people not only to know about your business, of course, which is great, and that they have a good opportunity now to have their dogs really well cared for while they're gone, but also for people to see what the path is and what you applied to being able to start a business, and so they can kind of make a decision if they're going to embark on their own, making their dreams, come to reality.
Absolutely.
What those steps might be and how they might consider working together with family, friends, in a professional context.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, if I were if I don't like to say if I had a cat or a dog, sorry. If I had a dog, I think it would be just important for me to know that when I'm gone, it's gonna be taken care of the way I would care for my
Absolutely.
dog.
And tours are available. Tours
Oh,
of the
cool.
facility are available.
Yeah.
We'd like to do them after hours because the dogs have to be put away for liability.
Right.
I want to make sure it's all okay.
Right.
But more than welcome to come tour the facility and check it out and make sure that it's comfortable for your baby. We've really tried to
Right.
make the inside like home. There's couches and chairs and plants. And
Yeah, it seems like it's a long love, and passion of yours. And when you pair it with business, it's just, I don't know, for me, it builds up credibility in you. Or like it would build up credibility for me as a client, to know
That's
that
right.
it's not just, okay, she doesn't only have experience like working with animals as a, vet tech, or managing the facility or knowing, but also there's that personal, that like that emotional element that I know you care about these creatures, and whether it's yours or mine, it doesn't matter. They just,
we have a sign in our lobby that talks about a kahu. In Hawaiian culture, it represents that people care for as an entity like themselves, part of a family conscience with the animal, that where it's no longer a separate entity. That dog belongs to you. You want that dog to be happy under any circumstances at all. And it's a concept that we believe in strongly at Duval Dogs. That dogs are family and we want them to be held up and
That
put
gives
on
me chills.
pedestals.
I love that. Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
you've applied your passion in this way because it'll mean that you can spread it and it'll mean that it'll become more impactful. So thank you so much. For
Thank
that.
you.
Ian,
Thanks for having me.
All the best with Duval Dogs. We're gonna do our share of spreading the word.
That's right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
to all the doggy owners. So
That's
you have
right.
more guests. I learned.
Absolutely.
So the dogs are guests.
Dogs are
and,
guests.
humans are clients. I like
Yep.
that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
So check out Duval Dogs.
Yes.
And
Are there links and everything?
yeah, there is.
Okay.
If you look at the link down below, you can check out the website. Nikki's dog is on the website, so you can. Odin is there, the mascot from
Is it
Duval
Odin?
Dogs.
This is Bogey.
Bogey.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Bogey.
Sorry,
That's
not
okay.
Odin,
Odin's
Bogey.
my other dog.
That's right.
So,
My mistake. Yeah,
That's
Bogey.
this one.
So Bogey, yeah, that's right. So you can check out the website. It's duvaldogs.com and definitely check out this great new business here in Jacksonville.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.